Hi. Before you fall asleep, I want you to imagine something strange. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and discovering that the world has changed. Not the sky, not the oceans, not the cities, but something much quieter. Something people look at every day. Faces. Imagine that overnight, beauty marks, small freckles, tiny spots on the skin suddenly become the most desired feature in the world. People begin drawing them. Fashion changes. Movies change. Advertisements change. And suddenly, the more beauty marks someone has, the more beautiful they are considered. Would that sound strange? Perhaps. But here is the interesting part. Something very similar has happened many times before. Because beauty is not as fixed as we often imagine. Tonight, we are going to explore a quiet question. What if beauty marks became the new beauty standard? And what does that reveal about the human mind? It is easy to think that beauty has always meant the same things. But history tells a different story. For thousands of years, people in different cultures have admired different features. Sometimes pale skin was considered beautiful. Sometimes darker skin. Sometimes long hair. Sometimes short hair. Sometimes rounder faces. Sometimes sharper faces. And sometimes small marks on the skin were seen as charming. In Europe, hundreds of years ago, some people even wore artificial beauty marks. Tiny dark spots, carefully placed on the face. They became part of fashion, part of identity, part of beauty. What seems unusual today may have once been admired. And what is admired today may someday seem unusual. Beauty moves quietly through history, always changing, always evolving. But why? Why do humans change their ideas of beauty? Part of the answer may come from the brain. Human beings are very social creatures. We observe others, we learn from others, and sometimes we begin to value what the people around us value. If many people admire something, our brains may begin to pay more attention to it. Not because it changed, but because the meaning changed. A simple feature can become special if enough people believe it is. And this happens with clothing, with hairstyles, with colors, and perhaps with beauty marks too. Sometimes beauty is not only about appearance. Sometimes beauty is a story that people agree to tell. Now, let us imagine this world. A quiet world where beauty marks become admired everywhere. Magazines show them. Artists paint them. People notice them. Children grow up thinking they are beautiful. Some people add them. Some people celebrate them. And many people who once tried to hide them begin to feel differently. The marks themselves have not changed. only the way people think about them. And perhaps this is one of the most interesting things about human beings. The meaning we give to things can change everything. The object remains the same, but the story changes. If we travel through history, we find many examples. In some times, being very pale was a sign of beauty. In other times, sun-tanned skin became fashionable. In some places, certain hairstyles were admired. In others, they were not. Even body shapes have changed through history. Paintings from centuries ago show different ideals. Fashion changes, cultures change, and beauty changes too. It is almost like beauty is not a destination, but a river, always moving, always flowing, quietly changing direction over time. Perhaps the question is not really about beauty marks. Perhaps the deeper question is this: why do humans care so much about what others admire? Maybe it is because, for thousands of years, belonging to a group was important. To belong often meant safety, friendship, connection, and shared ideas. Human beings have always lived in communities, and communities often create shared symbols, shared values, shared ideas of beauty. This does not mean beauty is imaginary, but it may mean that beauty is shaped by many things: biology, culture, history, and time. And perhaps there is something calming about this idea. The idea that beauty has never stood still. It changes. It travels. It evolves. Features that seem ordinary today may become admired tomorrow, and features admired today may someday fade into history. The world changes. People change. Ideas change. And maybe that means there is more than one way to be beautiful. More than one story. More than one perspective. And perhaps that has always been true. So, what if beauty marks became the new beauty standard? Perhaps the marks would stay the same, but the meaning around them would change. That is the quiet secret of beauty itself. Sometimes what changes most is not the face, but the story we tell about it. And somewhere, many years from now, people may look back at our own ideas of beauty and find them strange, just as we do with the past. For beauty, like history, never stops moving. And now, as the night grows quiet and sleep slowly arrives, you can leave this question floating gently in your mind. How many things do we see, not as they are, but as we have learned to see them? Good night. Sleep well. And I'll see you in the next Sleepy Science.